Hi, everybody, and let's get complicated. Or, as we might call this lesson, as counterintuitive as it sounds, be bold, use more complex vocabulary, and still wind up with a readable text. So, what do we mean by this, and what does it mean for our writing and messaging? Now, bear with me, but let's say you were asked to rewrite a complicated text, a message, health message. Which of these would you likely start with? Which two things? The vocabulary, the sentence length, the context, the coherence, or none of the above? Think about that for a minute. Which two things are you likely to start with? Well, if you did pick vocabulary and sentence length, you're like most health writers and communicators in the US, because there's at least 20 years of guidance that says when you're writing for low health literate audiences, avoid complex words. And the other thing, which we'll discuss at another time, is to simplify and shorten sentences. I mean, you can go to the plainlanguage.gov website and see long lists of words to substitute for more complicated words. So, here's my problem with this. There is not consistent evidence from reading studies and linguistic studies over the last 30 years that simplifying words yields better reading comprehension. And just as importantly, here at the lab, we argue if you're going to continue to take all the complex words out of messages, how are patients and consumers ever going to learn these words and concepts? I mean, are we relegating consumers to make the kinds of statements that I hear? Oh, you can get sick from that mosquito. Okay, why not infected? You know, they want to take away the Obamacare law. Well, what's wrong with repeal? We hiding that word from people? My daughter has, so she can't get sick because she had that shot. She has immunity or protection. Why isn't this patient entitled to know that word? Or the doctor says I have a hole in the back of my eye, on my retina. Okay? And finally, just here as an example, I didn't know I had to pay something every time I go to the doctor. That's my copay. So words are not just words. They are the discourse of life. So we're going to look at 3 ways to introduce and use complex words in a message or a text. The first is very simple. Define the word right in the sentence. Zika is a mosquito born from a mosquito illness. That's one way to put it right in the sentence. I mean, another way to do it is Zika is called a mosquito-borne illness because it comes from mosquitoes. Very simple strategy. The second strategy is place the new word in second position. Don't start the sentence with the new word, because when you introduce it later, there's the ability to reinforce it from the first sentence, like a synonym. Here's an example again. Zika is a virus you get from a mosquito bite. This mosquito-borne virus is dangerous to pregnant women. So mosquito-borne, the new term, is not in first position. It comes in the second sentence after you've introduced the idea of where the virus comes from. And the third strategy is most important. Make guessing the word easier. Promote the inference. We're skipping and guessing all the time when we're reading. So Zika is a mosquito-borne illness. If a mosquito has the Zika virus and that mosquito bites you, you can get the Zika virus too. So giving enough information surrounding the introduction of the new term. I mean, there are many ways to do this, but Zika is a mosquito-borne illness. Other mosquito-borne illnesses are malaria, dengue fever, West Nile virus, and chikungunya. So you're giving the reader, in the second case, a context, perhaps a lived experience. So be bold, go where few dare to go, and try to start using and embracing more complex words rather than immediately saying we can't use them. You know, our readers or listeners won't understand them. Check out more of the lessons about what's readable and what isn't. And hope you enjoyed the lesson. Have a good day.